The legend of the Bigfoot monster is one of Tennessee's most vivid folktales, but unlike most stories, there's plenty of solid evidence for the creature's existence. The legend of the Sugar Flat Road monster in Tennessee tells of a mysterious humanoid being beheaded. The monster's head is said to have been chopped off by a man who hit the creature with his car one dark night in January 1989, and to this day no one can say for sure what it is, or is it from another planet. The 40-year-old eerie evidence is one of the main reasons people visit the tiny Lebanon town, where it's displayed in the window of the Cuz Antique Center in the main square. White fur on the face of the mysterious creature, with bushy eyebrows drooping over blue eyes. Its speckled navy blue skin looks almost like snakeskin. This skin stretched between the high cheekbones of the Yeti-like creature, giving way to a mouth that had no lips at all. Besides, this creature possesses teeth similar to those of humans. What's certain is that there's a creepy feel to this creature, and its origin story is equally creepy. The mysterious is all around us. Incidents occur that should never happen. Things that aren't meant to take place in the real world where the sun is shining brightly. And in 1989, on a cold, crisp moonlit January night, one of those things that don't happen happened in the hills of Lebanon, Tennessee. On that particular night, a lover's tryst led two people closer to the unknown than they had ever wanted to get, and when the night was over they'd relive it 1,000 times. The two had come to Sugar Flat Road, or Lover's Lane as it was often called, to meet discreetly. And since one of the parties was married, discretion seemed like a good idea. As usually happens in meetings such as this, time seemed to stand still for the amorous couple. Before they knew it, it was well past the hour when they should have gone to their separate homes. Excited, for apparent reasons, and anxious over the possibility of being caught at their illicit games, they sped away from their place on the side of the road. As the couple rounded a curve on the bumpy, old road, two figures burst directly into the path of the truck from the line of small scrub trees and bushes that lined their route. The brakes and the battered old truck did little to slow the vehicle, and in the midst of crunching metal, breaking glass, and skidding tires, the couple heard a horrible groan. Thinking he had hit a deer or a small bear, the driver swung his door wide and leapt out of the truck. The thing, that's what we'll call it for the time being, lay toward the rear of the truck. The driver could barely make it out despite the full moon and the glare of his taillight. He took a flashlight from his lady friend inside the truck and went back to get another look at the lifeless form lying in the road. As he approached the thing, he heard an animal-type cry from the other figure, standing just outside his field of vision. Frightened by this cry, he was also fascinated at the thing in the road. As the beam of his flashlight settled on the thing, he forgot all about its partner in the bushes. Whatever he had run over looked for all practical purposes like a medium-sized man, with one exception. It was covered with what looked to be hair or fur. It was also definitely dead. As he stood over the creature, his girlfriend's voice trickled in from the darkness, and he realized that the most important thing he could do right now was get her home before they both had too much explaining to do. He pulled the creature to the side of the road, disguised it as well as he could, and got back into the truck. Despite her questions, he did little talking during the trip. After dropping her off, he went home and drank the better part of a bottle of whiskey, hoping it would calm him and put him to sleep quickly after the harrowing experience. But try as he might, sleep evaded him. The solution to his restlessness seemed to be to return to Sugar Flat Road and find out exactly what it was he hit. He dressed quickly and drove off into the late-night early morning sky. As he neared the site of the accident, he drove by slowly, looking for the body he'd moved to the side of the road earlier. He backed his truck into the tree line in front of a small building that for many years had been used as a voting place. Now, in the quiet of the dawn, he inspected the creature again. It wasn't a man. Of that he was sure. But what was it? With a shudder, he took a shovel from the back of his truck, intent on burying the thing deep in the ground and forgetting this night had ever happened. But as he dug into the soft earth, he began to reason that since the creature wasn't a man, it was obviously an animal. And he should have a trophy. When the hole had been dug, he deftly severed the creature's head with the point of the shovel, scooped it up and tossed it into the bed of the pickup. He kicked the thing's body into the hole, covered it with dirt, and drove into town to a taxidermist's shop. The taxidermist shook his head in disbelief when he saw the creature's head, but despite never having seen anything like it before, he agreed to preserve it. For several years after the incident, the head rested on the mantle. The reactions varied. Monster, Bigfoot, alien, genetic freak. No one knew. The only person who had a definite opinion on the creature was the man's wife. And that opinion was, either it goes or I go. So it went. But there continue to be spottings of the creature's mate up and down Sugar Flat Road. Residents of the area have complained that chickens, ducks and turkeys often come up missing, and the rumor is that if a dog barks at night it will probably never be seen again. The creature's head now resides at Cuz's Antique Center on the Square in Lebanon, Tennessee. It's been there for several years now. And despite the national television ND radio exposure, no one to this day can attest to the origin of this unusual creature.